Hello and welcome to the Section 3.1 lecture today for our Bridges Geometry class. Today we're going to start looking at transformations. We're going to look at the most basic of them, which is a translation. So tough to keep those two separate because they sound pretty close to the same. But transformations as a sort of combined idea is an adjustment of an object. And we're going to talk about three of them in general. There are a couple more, but we're going to talk about the three that are technically called rigid transformations because they don't change the size or the shape of the object. A translation is a vertical I'll say and or horizontal shift of the object. Now, the object in question can be anything. It can be a point, it can be a set of points, it can be a line, a triangle, whatever. And we're just going to look at a horizontal and or vertical shift of that object. There's two important things when it comes to any transformation, and that is the image and the pre-image. I'm not going to say that I'm the biggest fan of how they decided to name these, but the image is the resulting object after a transformation. So this is what you get after you transform it. Okay, you might think of this is Optimus Prime, right? This is him standing up. The image is, the robot that you see, whereas the pre-image is sort of the I'm going to call it the object to be transformed. And maybe we'll use a different idea. Still thinking about Transformers because that's what we're dealing with, and that's kind of the generation that I grew up in. This is Bumblebee. And the pre-image is the yellow Camaro. Okay, so the car is the pre-image. Then once it transforms, it's been transformed into the image or the robot. Okay. So just out of a textbook, this is the way that they kind of show translations. To translate a point along a vector AB, add a to the x and b to the y. So we're going to deal with transformations this way, not necessarily in this notation, but we're going to deal with it very similar to the way they do here. They have their pre-image always has just a letter, so this is the point -2, 3, being translated into the image, and you notice here it's kind of tough to tell on here, but this is a P with an apostrophe. To get into Transformers a little bit more, we call that P prime. Whenever we put an apostrophe there, we call it a prime point. But this is, again, this is the pre-image down here. And this is the image here. Okay. The apostrophe lets you know that something has happened to it. It's been moved under some transformation. So today, pretty much just dealing with translations. We're going to take an object and move it based on the quote-unquote vector that they give us. Okay, it's not really in vector notation, but that's okay. What this is saying is it wants us to move it left 5 and 0 vertical movement. Okay, it doesn't want us to move it vertically at all, but it wants us to move it -5, being left 5 units. And there's multiple ways to do that. I'm not going to look at all the ways on every problem. Probably the easiest way for a lot of people is to take every point and move it, in this case, left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that becomes our T prime. S moves 5. It'll be right there for S prime. Q moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. And R moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. And then we would connect the same lines that are connected from the pre-image. So this four-sided shape started here, moves here, work on straight lines a little bit to make it look the same. Because under a translation, we should get to shapes that are the same size and even kind of pointing the same way. Okay. On this one, it says 4, -3. That means right 4, down 3. So we can do that point by point, or we could look at the coordinates of all those. And we could do it this way. I'm going to say this probably isn't as popular, especially in problems like this. W is at -1, -2, -3, -4, 4. And I'm going to move these over in just a second. X would be at -2, 4. But to give you another idea of how you could do this, Y is at 0, 3. And, oops, they tricked me. It's not Z, it's V, is at -1, 0. So what we could do with all these, and of course that didn't work, and it ruined a lot of stuff. I think Control K. Yeah. Just trying to lock that where it is. What I could do with all these is take all these coordinates and add 4 to each of the x's and subtract 3 from each of the y's. I could do that, giving me my transformed points. -4 plus 4 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. -2 plus 4 is 2. -4 minus 3 is 1. 0 plus 4 is 4. 3 minus 3 is 0. And -1 plus 4 is 3. 0 minus 3 is -3. And that would give me all of my transformed points. So that would be W prime, X prime, Y prime, and V prime. And we could see that that's going to do the same thing. So I'm going to focus on the points, and I'll say, well, we could adjust. And yeah, we could have. So 0, 1. 0, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 4, 0, and 3, -3. So now we see as we connect these, trying to give us some straight lines as good as we can, we get the same shape. And again, we could have just taken W and moved it right 4 and down 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, down 2, down 3. And we could have done that with every point, and we would have gotten at the same spot. Okay, so you kind of pick which way you want to do that, and I'm okay with it. To make this just go a little bit quicker, I'm going to take every point, move it over 2, up 2, over 2, up 2, and over 2, up 2. Sometimes images and pre-images will overlap. That's okay. Those kind of guidelines are okay to draw, but I would get rid of them once I knew where everything was, just to clean up what I had just a little bit. But I do expect to see the image drawn as well as the points relabeled. So that would be L prime, J prime, and K prime. Okay, that is my expectation. All these are going to go over 1 and up 4. Over 1, up 4. And over 1, up 4. And again, you can draw those guidelines, but I would probably get them out of there just to clean it up, if only a little bit. And in doing that, I got rid of one of them. And then I'm going to go ahead and relabel now. We have I prime, J prime, and H prime. Draw it again. And there we go. And that gives you a good look at how to translate a figure, an object. Good luck on that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day and we'll see you in class.